What is the hardest sport in the world? Is it esports?
Hey, don't scream at me! You
gotta sit for a long time, right? Get a little tender on your butt. You start getting sores on your butt. You gotta move the analog stick, right? Left, right, up, down, left, right. You drink Mountain Dew all day. Get upset belly. Start getting farts a little bit. Take a little poop. You know what I'm talking about? No. Well, today we're gonna find out what the top 10 hardest sports in the world are, according to ChatGPT. And coming in 10th place was none other than rock climbing. Now, this was surprising to me because I was curious what could possibly be harder than rock climbing. So we're going to go through the list of the top 10 most difficult sports to see which sports are technically harder than rock climbing and if I think that they deserve to be listed higher than rock climbing. I think a good way to compare the sports on this list would be look at some of the highlights and some of the lowlights, right? Like highlights for rock climbing, easy. We got Chris Sharma's Majorca Dyno, right? His deep water solo dyno, that thing is freaking epic. We also have Silence. We got a Burden of Dreams. Lowlights for rock climbing, well, we're not counting free soloing because, let's say this video would be age restricted. But as far as regular rock climbing, lowlights, we got whippers, the bad ones. We got trad gear popping out. And of course, bouldering fails. I also want to kind of compare, I guess, the mental aspect versus the physical aspect to kind of get this combined idea, because part of what makes rock climbing one of the most difficult sports isn't the actual physicality of it, but the mental of it, right? Because bouldering's a lot easier, honestly, coming from a boulderer, because you're safe the entire time, for the most part. For the most part. But climbing up high with trad gear, your arm gets stuck in the wall, you shit your pants.
I just shit my pants.
That ain't no fucking joke, okay? So let's start with number 9 on our list, figure skating. I'm gonna be honest, I know absolutely nothing about figure skating, so I'm just gonna pull up cool figure skating clips and see what we can find. Holy shit. I was just about to say, I mean, it looks hard, but it doesn't look that hard. She did a lot of spins there. There's not a lot of spinning in rock climbing, I gotta say. Well, that's not true. They do have 360 dynos. I forgot about that. 360 dynos are popping off right now.
Man, that was epic.
Alright, so the figure skating definitely looks difficult. Is it more difficult than rock climbing? I'm going to say from the highs here, right? The good stuff. No. I know that's controversial, but you also have to think, coming from another sport that's boring to watch, okay? not super entertaining, that also takes away from its points. This makes no sense. Right here. What the fuck am I looking at? It's pretty crazy. Let's look at now let's look at the lowlights. We gotta see what the bad side of figure skating looks like. Alright, we have a couple here. Figure skating. Dude, that wasn't too bad. It's just a little stumble. For the worst falls and fails, I gotta say their fails are not nearly as bad as they are in rock climbing. Holding her by the hips. Chucks her. He just fucking yeeted her. He just fucking... I know he was supposed to throw her. I would say there's no part in rock climbing where you fucking throw somebody, so figure skating gains some difficulty points there. You have to survive being thrown by a man twice your size. I love how the dude just skates by here, like he just passes her by. Whoops. He literally... she's getting... slams in, the dude just... he does not give a fuck. Alright, this dude is about to yeet her. Oh no. He's like all mad. Is he mad at her? Because he couldn't hold her? I love how he's mad at her, like,
I told you not to eat that cupcake before the show, you fat cow.
I'm sure they're fine. They seem, they're buddy-buddy afterwards. She's more upset than he is, even though he dropped her. Alright, figure skating. Similar to NASCAR, I would say, not super exciting when it goes right, but when it goes wrong, it's an S-tier sport. But I'm going to have to say, as far as top 10 most difficult sports in the world, figure skating doesn't beat rock climbing. Alright, moving on to the 8th most difficult sport in the world, we have surfing. I don't know how I feel about that one. I've seen a lot of surfing. I know, just like every sport, it's got its own difficulties. Is it harder than rock climbing? I will say I'm in a little bit of hot water with my Aussie fan base right now, so we'll give surfing a fair shot, alright? I mean, it looks awesome, and I'm sure it's very difficult. I'm not getting that it's harder than rock climbing. Holy shit, that is a big wave. Damn. Okay, that shit's wild. Dude, I didn't know waves got that big. So being from Ohio, I've maybe spent an accumulative like 2 months of my life near the ocean. And in that time, I've seen very little surfing, usually in like the Gulf of Mexico, where I'm guessing the waves don't look like that because I've never seen anything like that before. Landlocked Ohio boy learns about surfing for the first time. See, that's like what I'm used to seeing. That's more normal. Although that looks more difficult, if anything, because he's got to like crouch under it. I don't really understand the physics of it. But I will say surfing it looks cool, and I'm sure it's difficult. Not sure if it's harder than rock climbing. This is just, what you have to balance on your feet. That's called slab climbing. That's just one type of climbing. But to fully know, to give it its full thing, I don't think the surfing fails are going to be nearly as bad as a climbing fail. That's just my guess. There's no concrete. Yeah, I mean, they look, if anything, they look pretty chill. I mean, if you're on one of those massive oh, shit. Or that. Oh, okay. Okay, so both climbing and surfing can involve busting your face open on rock. We've learned that. It's just people kind of falling in water. I do that all the time. So I'm going to say no. Still not. We're restructuring the list right now. Surfing goes under climbing, above figure skating. Moving on to number 7 on our list, we have rugby, otherwise known as British football. All that I know about rugby is it's basically like American football, but you can't throw the ball, and they just fucking beat the shit out of each other the entire time they're on the field. If you guys are curious what my search criteria is, I'm literally just typing in the sport's name on YouTube and seeing what the most popular video is. If your sport is so lame that the most popular stuff that comes up is not that interesting, then that's just less points for you. All right, this guy's got the ball. He's running. He's running. Damn, he's fast, too. Ooh. Do they have touchdowns in rugby? I don't know how this works. Is he about to score a touchdown? I will say, as an admirer of American football, this looks pretty cool. It's basically just American football, but everybody has to actually be able to play every position. Holy shit! He just picked that dude up? Dude, rugby's awesome. I might start watching this. Look, he picked the dude up and he had the ball. The guy, he wasn't tackling him, he was running through the dude. The question is this harder than rock climbing? I'm going to go ahead and say yeah. I'm going to say this is the first one that might actually be more difficult than rock climbing. We have to factor in endurance, pain tolerance, because people are punching you in the face, kicking you, picking you up. You saw that guy pick that other dude up like fucking Macho Man Randy Savage. You're also running around the entire time, right? Cardiovascularly, that's going to be more difficult than rock climbing. Rock climbing is a bit of a one-trick pony, right? The rugby seems like you got to be able to throw the ball, you got to be able to tackle, you got to be able to run the ball, you got to be able to kick the ball, you got to be able to fight, you got to be able to take a hit, you got to be able to pick people up, slam them back, down on the ground. But we got to see rugby fails to fully know the repercussions of playing a poor game of rugby. Oh my God, look at the size of these guys. Why would you ever go toe-to-toe with this man? This dude is like an absolute monster. Where is he? Look at this guy running. And this tiny dude's like my size. He's like giving it his best shot, you know? He gave it his best shot. He ran into a wall. And it looks like he literally got knocked out. Yeah. No, this is going to be the first sport that is officially harder than rock climbing, because I would much rather take a whipper. I would much rather fall and smash my head into the rock, break an arm, than have to go head-to-head with that dude. I'm not doing it. But before we move on to number 6, a quick word from this video's sponsor, Frictitious. A lot of you are probably watching this video wondering, why is rock climbing at number 10? Rock climbing should be the hardest sport in the world. For me, rock climbing is impossible. My fingers can't hold on to anything. Well, that's because you need more fingerboard training, and there's no better way to get more fingerboard training than by getting a personal hangboard for your home at Frictitious Hangboards. Now, a little secret about hangboards that people don't tell you is that they fuck up your walls. When you try to put a hangboard in, sometimes you drill into the metal vents on the other side. Not saying that that's what I did on accident, but I'm saying that can happen. Sometimes you break stuff, sometimes the whole drywall comes out, bad stuff can happen. But with Frictitious hangboards and doorway mounts, all you gotta do is slap it up on the doorway. It's that easy. You hang it up and you hang on it. Train your fingers, get nice, big, fat, strong fingers like Emo. Right? You want those big, fatty, Shrek, Alex Honnold fingers, the big sausage fingers, you're going to need a hangboard. Not only that, but maybe you don't want everyone knowing you're a dirty, hippie rock climber, right? Maybe you live a double life. You're rock climbing in the day, but you're kind of a cool guy at night, and people come over to your house, you don't want them to see you got a hangboard. You can easily take the hangboard down, put it in storage, and pull it out whenever you want to hangboard. Just whip it out, hang it up, do a quick workout, and put it away. Nobody will ever know you're a rock climber. So if you want to try out a fictitious hangboard for yourself, click the link in the description below, fill out a short questionnaire, and be entered for a chance to win a free fictitious hangboard and doorway mount. All right, moving on to number 6 on our list, we have Motorsport. Just the one, I guess. Doesn't Motorsport encompass like a shit ton of, like, isn't NASCAR a motorsport? I'm pretty sure Gran Turismo movie solidified for me that motorsports are just video games. In real life, like, gamers can go pro in motorsport, so I'm going to assume this is going to fall pretty low on the list. All right, so you got to drive, but you got to drive fast. Holy shit! These are all non-fatal, by the way. It was in the title before you say anything. Every driver involved in these accidents survived with no serious consequences. The McDonald's mobile in the front, Ronald McDonald taking the lead. This dude, oh. You know, that wasn't too bad, I gotta say. That dude's probably got a little bit of whiplash, but yeah, a little bit of whiplash. All right, taking this turn. This dude's slamming into people. A couple spins down to the chassis, and he's fine. So I'll say, repercussion-wise, this has to be the worst so far. I'd rather take on the big rugby guy than crashing a car going any speed, let alone speeds like this. I don't know if I'd put it as hard as rock climbing. All right, because this encompasses all motorsport, we have to look at the motorcycles also. All right, so this guy's losing control a little bit. Fell down. Oh, God, his bike was like on his head. They all crashed. And then here comes... Okay. This dude's having a rough go of it. He's already having trouble standing up. This guy just ran into him. We got more people crashing. Oh, my God. Dude, just stay down. Yeah, somebody fucking help the guy. He's been hit like 5 fucking times. All right, so motorsport. Fail-wise, definitely the worst. I'm going to have to say most difficult in that. Overall difficulty, though, I mean, if you don't crash, everybody knows how to drive a car, right? So you're just, you know, kind of expanding on that knowledge you already have, learning how to race and stuff like that. I can't say it's harder than rock climbing. No, I'm not. I'm going to have to go for it. You get to sit down and drink Mountain Dew all day. It's not the same thing. We're going to put motorsport below figure skating, unfortunately. All right, we're done with the bottom half. We're moving on to the top half of the list, starting with number 5, water polo. This is an interesting one. I know absolutely nothing about water polo except it's swimming and UFC combined, right? I know they swim around and they beat the absolute shit out of each other. It's got to be a pretty hard sport. Do they have to wear these dumbass helmets? Is that mandatory as part of the sport? Like, all right, like, people are going to think this sport's too dangerous, so we got to make you guys look silly so that they'll let us put it in the Olympics.
Somebody might have a hold of my suit. I mean, you can see scratches, which is part of the game.
She said that they're getting scratches. She's like, people scratch you under the water and stuff, which, I mean, not pleasant. That's not that bad. I thought water polo was like blood in the water, like violent sport. That having somebody tickle you with their fingernails under the water is not that bad. Water polo fights. All right, we got to see the fights. That's what I'm really here for, is to see. Women's water polo dirty plays underwater. All right, wait, what did she do? She unzipped and re-zipped up. She looks like she was zipping up her suit for her. She's grabbing her suit and zipping it up. I don't see what's dirty about that. All right, they're pushing and tugging a little bit. Pulling. Thrashing. I mean, that's not fun, but they're definitely not... There's no punches being thrown that I see. This also feels like we're getting into, like, fetish territory right now. Like, there's a reason people watch these videos. You know, I think my impression of water polo was better before I watched all this. It's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. Coming, once again, from somebody who loves a sport that other people find boring. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say, is it harder than rock climbing? Probably. You got to tread water. You're not getting punched in the face like I thought you were. I thought you could like elbow and punch people in the face in water polo. But you're still getting a little kitty cat claws, right? Getting a little scratched up under the water. That doesn't happen in rock climbing. But you also got to swim. You're going to be out of breath with your head just barely out of the water, sucking up all that piss water that all the other players been peeing in. And not a good time. I'm going to say water polo difficulty-wise. Is it harder than rugby? I'm going to have to say no. Because once again, in rugby, you got this motherfucker. I don't ever want to see this guy again. Moving on to number 4 on our list, we have ice hockey. I can kind of see this one because you got to learn to skate just to play, and then you got to basically learn to play golf And you got to learn to fight. This one I know for a fact they fucking fight. So you got to learn 3 different sports all at the same time just to get out on the ice. These are the greatest goals of the decade. That was actually pretty fucking crazy. He smacked it up and then whacked it out of the air into the goal. Dude, hockey goes hard. What the fuck? Look at that backhand. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say technical-wise, like technique-wise, this has got to be harder than rock climbing. All right, so hockey, technical difficulty-wise, I'm going to say probably one of the hardest sports. I'm going to say difficulty-wise, one of the hardest. We also have to consider the fact you got fails. Dude, they hit like, these are like NFL-level hits on ice. Oh my God. Dude in the white right here just levels this guy. It's really quick. Smashes into that dude. Smashes this dude down. And then knocks that dude down. He's just, hey, stop coming after him. All right, it's not gonna work out. I might start watching hockey. Oh my God, wait, dude, it's got to be dangerous. I mean, he is coming in hot, going for the press right here. He's got some velocity. We know that. He's got some momentum too. He's a big dude. Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to have to say overall hockey. Probably the hardest sport so far. I think the fact that you have to learn not only how to fight, but how to skate and how to basically play golf. It's just the more things you have to learn, the harder the sport is. But as of right now, ice hockey bumps its way up to number 1. Moving on to our next sport on the list, number 3 overall is boxing. The more I sit on this and think about it, the more it kind of makes sense because, sure, it's a very one-trick pony, right? You can't kick, you can't wrestle, you can't tackle. You're not running around. You're just standing there punching each other in the face for like 15 to 45 minutes. But it does check quite a few boxes. Endurance, sitting there getting punched in the face and throwing punches. As somebody who wrestled all throughout high school, I can say after about a couple minutes of manhandling another man, you get pretty tired. Yeah, I'm torn right now because this is going to be pretty high up. Because doing this for like 45 minutes, not pleasant, right? It's going to be pretty exhausting. Just throwing the punches, getting punched, really going to start taking a toll also. God damn, this guy can dodge a punch. I can tell you right now, rock climber can't do that, okay? You'll never need to do that in rock climbing. I think there's also something to say about the mental aspect of some of these sports, like with the water polo, the boxing, the rugby, where like you can't back down. You get out there with rock climbing. You can have a lazy day or a bad day. It's really up to your own mentality. To make it pro as a rock climber, you have to choose to push yourself. You have to choose to go out and try your hardest. In sports like these, once you get out there, you're kind of fucked, right? Like it's all or nothing. You can't step into the ring and be like, yeah, you know, it was kind of a rough day. I was kind of tired and sluggish. I had the farts. I drank too much Mountain Dew. All right, we got 2 giant motherfuckers out here throwing some very slow punches. These guys are done. I feel like at this point, just be like, it's over. They can't even stand up anymore. Oh my God! Holy shit! Oh, somebody threw a chair! Somebody threw a chair at that guy! Look at this punch, first of all. Overhand right, just knocks this dude out. And then where does this chair come from? Everything is calm, besides right here. Not calm here, calm over here. You know, everyone's just chilling. I'm trying to see where this magical chair comes out of. Dude, it falls from the ceiling. We're gonna watch it one more time. The big right hand, the big kerfluffle into the ground, and the big chair. It literally comes straight down on his head. Like, he's looking over here, and you're thinking the chair is gonna come from some angle, and it just... Overall, I'm going to have to say boxing. I don't think boxing is as hard as ice hockey. I'm going to still keep ice hockey at number 1. I think the getting hit in hockey looks like absolutely miserable. You get smashed through glass. You have to learn to skate and everything. But I'll put boxing at a cool number 2. I still think it's very hard. I also am surprised because MMA is not on the list. I feel like MMA undoubtedly has to be harder than boxing, right? Because you have to know how to box to do MMA. So it's like just a harder version of boxing, although it's not as long. They don't go for as long, so maybe like the endurance thing isn't there. But you're getting choked, you're bleeding, you're getting kicked in the face. Have you ever seen some of those face kicks? Lyoto Machida's fake front kick into an actual front kick. That thing was absolutely insane. What is the one dude? Freaking BJ Penn. smashes that dude's face into pulp on the side of the thing. You don't see that in rock climbing, all right? Before, I know a lot of you are going to be, this is a climbing channel, and you're just making climbing, you're pushing climbing lower and lower on the list. Do you want this to happen to you? Do you think, would you rather go rock climbing, or would you rather be this guy? So we're going to move boxing to number 2. Next up in second place, the second hardest sport in the world, we have gymnastics. That is surprising. The same with everything on this list. Every sport is hard in its own right, but gymnastics is just like rock climbing without the rocks, right? It's a lot of spinning, a lot of flipping, a lot of doodads, you know, things like that. I don't see in what world gymnastics is harder than boxing or ice hockey or water polo, maybe motorsport. All right, so I've seen this one before. This chick goes ham. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty crazy. Is it harder than rock climbing? I feel like I see Tomoe Narisaki do that on a wall every other day on his Instagram. Now, gymnastics does have multiple events. So we got the laches. You do laches in rock climbing also. So like I said, not a lot of difference so far. That does look pretty hard. Let's look at the beam. The beam thingy that they got to walk on. They dance on the beam. The thing is that the sport's a bit more performative. And performative sports are all well and good, but it's hard to rank their difficulty because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just see her jumping over and over, which looks hard, but I don't know what the objective quite is. That does look very, very difficult. Is it as hard as ice hockey? This to me is just, this is the slab climbing of gymnastics. The floor routine. This is where shit really pops off. She jumps. She jumps again. She launches herself 4,500. What is her vertical leap? Is this humanly possible? That's like a 30-foot vertical leap. I know this has like springs in it, but good God, that doesn't even make any sense. NBA players can't jump this high. How do you break a record in gymnastics? They said she broke the record. Is it just like a score? See, it's the artistic stuff that I don't really understand. I'm going to go ahead and say, in terms of skill level required, gymnastics is definitely up there. I don't think it's as hard as learning a sport where you have to learn to do multiple things. I think that is the main way to determine how hard something is. So we're going to say gymnastics towards the top, but we got to see the fails first to fully know how difficult this sport is. All right, we got the rings. Big spin, dislocated shoulders, broken neck. Pretty good combination. I got to say, right now, my main thing I'm debating on is where to put gymnastics as compared to rock climbing, because I think they're going to be really close to each other. Oh my God, guys, look at this one. So hilarious. 20 funniest Olympic fails. Look at that epic fail right there. It's crazy. And 11 million views. Is that what I should do for this? That's what I'm going to do for this thumbnail right here. I'm just going to basically copy and paste this, get my 11 million views, call it a day. All right, we got the beam again. You see, all these gymnastics ones, they're just, the issue is they're not even fun to watch, the fails. They just look miserable. They look like where you would just tear an ACL, snap a collarbone, break an ankle. But they're not even cool like the race car ones. Look at this one again. You don't get hit with 5 motorcycles in a row. I don't know. I'm going to say, I've come to my conclusion. Gymnastics has got to be slightly harder than rock climbing. They're built like freaking sculptures, so clearly they're using every muscle in their body. I don't think that rock climber is going to do gymnastics. We're not counting Magnus, by the way, because I know everyone's going to use Magnus. Magnus doesn't count. Besides Magnus, most rock climbers can't go and just do double laches across these fucking bars or do the balance beam. So I unfortunately am going to have to put gymnastics slightly one space above rock climbing. All right, the moment you have all been waiting for, our #1 most difficult sport in all of sports. Coming in first place, the most difficult sport in the world, we have the decathlon. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually don't know what a decathlon is. I know, like, Bruce Jenner was, like, the decathlon man, like, the guy who won that. I know what a triathlon is. So it looks like it's broken into 2 days. So you don't do them all back to back like a triathlon. So that does change things a little bit, I'm going to say. So you do a 100-meter dash, a long jump, shot put, high jump, the 400-meter dash, 110 hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, and basically the 1 mile. That is miserable. Even if you would get a break between them, That's like every single track and field event, which I'm guessing is the point of it. There's no swimming and there's no cycling, which is awesome because those are both boring as fuck to watch. So, long jump. This was my event in high school. I was a big long jumper. Jumped 19 feet, 19 and a half, 19.6. Never broke 20, unfortunately. Have you guys ever seen the video of Mike Powell breaking the long jump world record? Nobody's even come close in like 30 years. He jumps, I think it's over 30 feet. It's fucking crazy. Oh my God, that guy looks like a boss. Got some high jump here. That was a good jump. Very clean. It's almost like he's an Olympic athlete. You have to do pole vault? I didn't even see that on the list. That's another, like, it has nothing to do with the other event. You really have to be able to do everything. I tried pole vault once. I don't understand the physics of it. It makes no sense. Also, speaking about the negative repercussions of a sport, have you seen what can happen in pole vault? If you fall the wrong way onto the... Yeah, no, that's never... No, I'm not doing it. As far as fails go for the sport, I mean, we already saw the pole vault one. Hurdle fails. Hurdle fails are pretty funny. Put some hurdle fails up, up here. They're pretty funny. But the real question is, do I agree with the placement of decathlon as the #1 hardest sport? I'm going to say yeah. I can see that now. Now, having looked at it and seeing that you have to be able to do every single other sport and be an Olympic level competitor in them, decathlon's got to be the hardest sport in the world. To be a pro decathlete is just an otherworldly amount of difficulty. Congratulations to ChatGPT for correctly guessing the decathlon. I know you guys are hoping rock climbing would come in first, but it did move its way up. I think I bumped rock climbing up a few places where it really deserves. I actually saw, while I was looking at this list, let me see if I can find this again really quick. ESPN did like a bunch of science and math to find the top, 60 hardest sports in the world. And they have like all this data they pulled. And boxing came out at #1. And ice hockey did come out at #2. And football, which I'm going to consider rugby. Oh, they have rugby on here. Rugby got 13th. Football got #3. Now, ESPN, I'm assuming, is an American company because these are like, these top 4 are like the 4 biggest sports in the United States. I guess hockey isn't. But football, basketball, and boxing are huge in the United States. So this list may be a little bit biased because I would say soccer is harder than, what the fuck is going on? Soccer is a little bit harder than American football. I hate soccer too. So I cannot be more biased. I love American football, hate soccer. American football, once again, you don't have to learn to play one position. Rugby and soccer, you have to play every single position. From what I know, at least. I guess there's like strikers in soccer or something stupid like that. But if motherfuckers coming at you with the ball, you got to be able to steal the ball or block them or something like that. Football, if you're a freaking quarterback, you don't have to do anything but throw the ball. I went through the entire list. Rock climbing isn't on here at all. But they have fucking bowling in 57th place. Harder than... fuck off. Alright, bowling is harder than rock climbing, according to ESPN. Fishing. Fishing is actually, fishing can get difficult. You get sunburnt. You ever been sunburnt while you're out fishing? The water reflects sunlight back up. You don't think to put sunscreen down here. You get sunburnt under your jaw. It sucks. Anyway, I forget the order that I ranked everything, but we'll put it right here. This is my re-ranking, if it even matters. But those are the top 10 hardest sports in the world, according to ChatGPT. I'm going to say that ChatGPT list seems more accurate than the ESPN list, even though they use professional analysts. You can't beat a computer. All right, computer is going to win every time. I think freaking American football being #3 is just ridiculous. I know it's a hard sport, all right? Not saying any of these sports aren't hard. The 3rd hardest sport in the world to play. You got to go like this. Sometimes you got to kick the ball with your foot. No. Thank you all for watching. And remember, if you want to pick up a fictitious hangboard and doorway mount, click the link in the description below and be entered for a chance to win a free fictitious hangboard and doorway mount. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.